Hey movers and shakers, welcome to another exciting of the 7-Figure Moving Academy. Glad to have you here today. We're talking about moving damage and those who cause it and how to handle it. So let's get into it, but first, a word from our sponsor. Hey guys, I'm Jay Burnham, and I want to invite you to become a member of the 7FMA, the 7-Figure Moving Academy. I've got a 7-day trial for just $1. You can join anytime, cancel anytime, no commitments, and you got 7 days to test out the entire membership for just $1. After that, you will be billed $10 a month. Now, if you want to save even more money, we do have a yearly membership, and all I ask you to do is go to 7figuremovingacademy.co, go to 7figuremovingacademy.co, and click on the memberships tab to join today. Hey guys, Jay Burnham here with the 7figuremovingacademy.co, 7figuremovingacademy.co. Going to talk about damage. We get a lot of damage. This is a problem. We all know that this is a problem. We try to do our best to resolve the problem and not do it. But what happens when we've got movers that are just causing all this damage? It frustrates the heck out of us. We just get on. We buy a brand new truck, and next thing we know, we see a dent in the up on the, the corner of the truck, brand new truck. Or we're getting a call from the customer saying that they broke their brand new dishwasher or washer and dryer, or put a scratch in their floor or something like this. And it just drives us nuts, because you know why? It costs us money. And here's the truth of the thing. The movers, they don't care. It doesn't come out of their pay. You can't legally, as far as I know, can't take it out of their pay. Unless they're an owner-operator, then you can charge them a little bit something. But an employee, you can't really do much about it. So this kind of sucks. It's horrible. It's a horrible situation. So what do we got to do? Well, first of all, before we do everything, you got to understand that if this guy has been working for you for a while, he's got a history of doing moves, good moves with no damage. He's very conscientious. He takes care of the stuff, and you know that he does good work, and something happens. The first thing you need to do is relax. Just chillax, sit back, take a moment, take a breather, count to 10, whatever, or don't confront him until the next day, or whatever it takes for you to calm down. Because what we want you to do is look at this from a level head. First of all, you don't know if the damage was his fault or not. Maybe you don't know if the customer's child, scared him and he dropped it, or the family dog jumped on him, or someone put something down and he slipped down on a thing, which is totally inadvertent. So before we go all ape shit on the guy, let's actually take a moment, take a breather, sit back, relax. Okay? Good. Now that we've done that, now that what we could do is we can talk to the customer and find out their side of the story. Find out what happened. Question them, not in an interrogation way, but in a way that's going to get to the truth and the bottom of the matter. Because if it is your mover's fault, we want to know, that side. Second thing is you want to talk with the mover that caused the damage, and you want to talk to the other crew members at the same time. You want to make sure that all the stories are aligning, that they're all coming together. You also want to make sure that it aligns with what the customer's saying. Because if the story's not aligning with what the customer's saying, then there's a problem. There's someone's lying. Either the customer's lying or your employee's lying. And if the employee's lying, that's very easy. You talk with the rest of the crew members and find out their side. Because there's going to be inconsistencies in the story. These guys ain't smart enough to go, okay, sit in the truck, let's get our story straight. Okay, good. We're going to tell them that, a banana fell out of the sky. There's a banana in the tailpipe, or whatever, a car backfired and startled me, or, they're just not going to have the wherewithal, the mental capacity to do that. So you question the mover that caused the damage, and you question the rest of the crew, find out, and you'll get your story straight. Now, if their stories all align and they all mesh, and, the inconsistencies or the I don't knows or what have you are minor and trivial, then it's probably the customer. And then if that's the case, then you got to deal with the customer on their own right, find out what's going and finding out if the customer's being a scam artist, or just didn't realize the damage was there already, etc., etc. Right? So that's what we got to do. Right? Once we figured that out, then what we got to do is find out, what did the mover do wrong? Was it something that he did that he didn't know how to do? Did he try to pick something up that he shouldn't have picked up that requires two people? Did he try to solve a problem? Was he pissed off at one of the other crew members because they were screwing up and doing it? So we got to find out what the actual situation is that caused this mover to damage it. Right? Once we figure that out, then what we need to do is retrain that mover. We got to retrain train the mover or retrain the mover. Once that is done, then we send them back out on the road to do it. After you've had a little chat with them, you had a little talk, find out what was going, you get them retrained. Now the second thing, if it happens again, you go through those same procedures again, and then if it's the mover's fault, then and it's the same kind of situation, then you know that it's the mover's fault and not because of the training. At that point, then you want to take some disciplinary action, right? And this you could consider this the first offense. Give them a warning if it happens again. Or you could say, okay, since it already happened, retrained you, you did this, we're going to give you a 3-day suspension or whatever. You can increase the ethics gradients as you see fit. I would actually, I would err on keeping the ethics gradient small until it turns out to be a blatant situation. Now, how we stop this from occurring at all? One, we have standard operating procedures. We have checklists for everything. You should have a checklist on how to wrap a dresser. There should be a checklist for how to wrap a refrigerator. There should be a checklist for how to wrap a couch. There should be a checklist for how to wrap a leather couch. All the tools and dollies and materials and equipment should all be available. And if they're not, maybe the mover didn't have the right equipment. If that's the case, then that's on you, and you've got to lump that up. But the way we solve it is by having checklists. Having checklists, making sure that the movers are going out there. The dispatcher is when they send out the crews, make sure that all the right equipment is on the truck, so there's no excuses. They have the right amount of boxes. They have the right amount of dollies. They have the right amount of straps and bands and tape and plastic and pads, etc. That done, then there should be checklists of how it's done, how you want it wrapped, when it's wrapped, where it's wrapped at, how a box is packed, etc. If a box is being packed for dishes, how is it done versus a box full of pans, etc. You want to make sure that these are all lined up. I know it seems like a lot of work, but trust me, in the long run, it's going to save you a lot of money. Secondly, if you get these checklists, if you get these systems completed and done, and everybody has these systems and they're following the systems, you can then duplicate this very same thing and take it to another location and get yourself, when you're up to that next phase, when you're up to like a 8 to 10 truck phase, you're making 7 figures, it's time to expand. You want to move into another area. You could take these checklists, give them to a general manager to say, do those checklists, enforce those checklists, train your guys on those checklists, train everybody, and then everybody's on the same page. They're doing the same standard. The reason why McDonald's and all these other fast food systems work is because they're operating off the same SOP, the same standard of procedures. They operate off the same. The military operates off the same standard. Every room is set up exactly the same. You got to put the military is right down to like where you hang up your shirts, where you hang up your pants, how to fold your pants, how to roll up your socks and underwear, where you put your bug out bag. The whole works. Everything is in its place and right there ready to go. How you clean your gun is done. So think of those things. So you guys who have military experience, you know what I'm talking about. And those guys who worked in franchises like McDonald's or Burger King or Panera or wherever, they have a standard set of checklists and you got to follow it. Use that as your basis and keep that in mind. Use these checklists. So guys, before you freak out on somebody, just sit back, relax, and realize that movers have a bad day. Don't just start jumping down their throat. Don't start disciplining him and coming down heavy on the hammer. We all have bad days. You have a bad day. I have bad days. We all have bad days. Things happen sometimes when people have bad days. So sometimes we have to, okay, yes, the mover screwed up, but he had a bad day. Why did he have a bad day? Well, let's fix that. Let's talk to him about it. Let's get over it. I'm not saying you have to be their friend, but sometimes you do have to be their counselor. Do you understand what I'm saying? Sometimes you have to be empathetic. And if it's not happening a lot with the mover is damaging things, then let's not be heavy-handed. Let's not, hit them over the head with the stick. Sometimes being gentle, being empathetic, being, attuned to what's going on will go a long way for, morale and loyalty, etc. Then if it continues, then we want to stiffen the discipline. We want to go up the ethics gradients and handle the damage, the situation, and so on and so forth. I would say, the second time, I would probably give them a written and formal communication. The third time, and this is, when I say the third time, I'm talking the first time we just talk to them, get them retrained. So after the retraining, the first time would be literally the second time. That's a formal warning. Second time, suspension. Third time, they're out of there, right? Secondly, if you got an employee that has a bad attitude, that is just toxic, he's going to infect that toxicity in everybody else. And what it's going to do is actually going to turn those guys mentally and subconsciously into bumbling buffoons. They're not going to be concentrating on it. So it doesn't matter how good the toxic person is. If he's toxic and causing problems, that problem can then translate into others being accident prone. Okay, so just realize he can actually affect the mentality of the other crew and create a situation where the other guys are subconsciously like all discombobulated and interbulated and like stressed out. That causes them to have situations where they might damage something. So that's another thing you need to pay attention to. Is the crew have somebody that's toxic? So even though this mover caused the damage, maybe it's because the driver is a toxic individual, or maybe there's another mover that's toxic, or it could even be the customer that's toxic. There's a lot of different things, so we got to really look into it before we come down and just and I understand that feeling, because it costs us money when we have to fix these damages, and when we lose equipment, when our trucks get damaged, when the stuff gets ruined or broken inside the customer's house, floors get scratched, walls get dinged. It costs us money to solve that problem. It can potentially hurt our reputation. But before we freak out, let's find out what the cause is. Now, if the cause is the guy was just blatant and just did it on purpose, then yeah, you need to get rid of him right away and forget the retraining. But you got to really look at the situation first before you can make a determination. And if it's determined that the guy didn't do it like maliciously, then you might want to take him through the ethics gradients, take him through the gradients of correction before you decide to get rid of him. Okay? That's why we have insurance, folks. This is why we have moving insurance. And this is why we have insurance on our trucks. This is why we have workman's comp. This is why we have all those things. It's to prevent, and when those things do happen, because they are going to happen, we got insurance to cover that. Now, again, we don't want to necessarily make a lot of insurance claims, but that's why we have insurance. And that's the purpose of insurance. So remember that. Don't freak out. Find out what really happened. And based on what really happened, then you can make a determination of which way you want to go. By the way, I want to give a shout out to Barry's Best Movers. As you can see the shirt. Look at that. Look at that. Woo! Look at that back there. Great. Thank you very much for sending me your shirt. I appreciate it. I'm giving you a call out now. I really appreciate it. If you guys want to send me one of your company shirts, I will have the address down in the description. Just send me a shirt. I will make sure that I wear it. I'll put it in a video, and I'll give you guys a special shout out. Not only that, guys, thank you so much. As you saw in my sponsor video, we do have a membership group. This is a business in a bag, or if you want, this is a business in a box. It's turnkey. We got all the documents. You can go into the section, download contracts, BOLs, proposal letters, checklist, everything that you could use to get your business started and running, we have it in the membership. So make sure you go and sign up for that membership. It's only $10 a month, or you could say $20 and just buy an entire year right out the bat for $99. Otherwise, you're going to be paying $120 for the entire year. So if you want to save a few bucks, just buy the annual membership, yearly membership, and just get that subscription and save yourself a little bit of money. Also, guys, thank you so much. I'm also going to put in the description below that we are having a mover to owner, 7 simple steps to starting a highly profitable moving company. Is going to be a live webinar masterclass. I'm not going to sell you anything. This is completely free to attend. It's going to be live 8 p.m. August 14th. I will leave a link to where you can get the tickets to that event down in the description below. Make sure you come up for that. Guys, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I love you. I like you. Make sure you give me a thumbs up. Make sure you put a comment and subscribe to our channel. When you do subscribe, right next to the subscribe button on the right hand side is a little bell icon. Hit that bell icon and you will be informed when I upload a new video. Guys, thank you. I appreciate you. I love you. Go do something great today.